If you consistently spend hours studying, but the next day it feels like you've forgotten everything and you have to start back at square one, then you've come to the right place. Because what's going on is that you are not studying correctly. And this video will show you exactly where you're going wrong so that you can study and always remember what you read. I'm Salim, I've just finished medical school and I've spent 8 years at university in total, studying the tiny details of pharmacology to all the Latin names in anatomy. But I've developed some strategies to make studying most efficient so I could spend less time and still remember everything, so I could do well in medical school whilst also doing everything else that I cared about. So first, let me explain what good memory is. Think of your memory like a muscle. When you first start working out, lifting a weight feels difficult. The movement is awkward, your muscles aren't used to it, and you get tired quickly. But the more you train, the more effortless that movement becomes. Your muscles adapt, get stronger, and eventually what once felt impossible is now second nature. Now, a weak memory is like skipping workouts or using bad form. If you only lift a weight once and never train that muscle again, it's going to stay weak. The strength won't last, and the next time you try, it'll feel just as difficult as before. But a strong memory is built through consistency, repetition, and proper technique, just like muscle growth. So the first thing you need to do is make sure that you understand the facts deeply by integrating it with the things you already know well. The things you already know well are like your strongest muscle groups, the ones you've trained the most. So when you learn something new, you need to link those to stronger muscles, which would be something you already know well. So if you're learning about a new muscle in anatomy like biceps brachii, break it down into something you do understand. Like bi means two because it has two heads, brachii means arm in Latin, and biceps is on the arm. By connecting it to things you already understand, which are familiar concepts, you're reinforcing your knowledge, making it much harder to forget. So whenever you're learning something new, make sure that you join it to something deep that you understand. And this is especially the case with namings, which are easy to forget if they aren't integrated properly. And just like how a muscle grows when you hit it from different angles, different exercises, and different rep ranges, your memories get stronger when you connect the new pieces of information in multiple ways. And now another way to join pieces together, which is one of the strongest ways, is visualizing the facts through diagrams. If you can see the fact in your mind, it's being connected to the visual centers of your brain too, which is another system of very strong connections. The human brain is highly specialized for vision, so it's a very powerful tool to use when trying to integrate new facts into our memory. This is why people who have photographic memory memorize where something is on a certain page. If you can visualize it, you can come back to it much better. So if you are learning something, build it into a diagram or an animation in your mind. The more visual and colorful, the better. Whenever I've studied, I'd always make sure to use images or diagrams in my flashcards because that creates a strong link for me to recall the information easily. Now for a quick update, I'm working on building an online course and community and would highly appreciate your feedback and input. So check out the links in the description. It would help me out a lot if you would provide some feedback in terms of what you find helpful from my videos and what you feel would help even more as part of a course or community. Thank you in advance, and now back to the video. And now the final strategy is actually the simplest. Photographic memory is really a bit of a myth, and that's not exactly what you should be aiming for. You should be aiming for a good memory, one that allows you to recall things in exams effectively and appears to be like photographic memory. And the only way to improve your ability to recall a fact is by recalling it over and over again. Repeated active recall is what makes a fact second nature. It's like your birthday. You don't need to sit and remember it because you've been asked so many times in your life that now that fact is fixed into your memory. It's like every time you recall a fact, you're putting in another rep, reinforcing those neural connections, making them stronger and faster. This is actually what happens with neurons in your brain. The more you access a piece of knowledge by recalling it, the stronger the circuit becomes, which allows you to access it even faster next time. So if you want to remember something, it is as simple as sitting there and repeating it to yourself over and over again. This could be done alone using physical or digital flashcards or with friends. The repeated recall is the way to etch something into your mind forever. So don't just sit there reading books or writing notes. Sit there and recall the fact until you get it perfect. This is what will make sure you remember the fact in the exam when there is nothing to read to jog your memory. So those are the 3 ways that have helped me throughout medical school to remember everything I read. But another problem is that you might find yourself struggling to study because you're exhausted and can't focus. And in this video here, I explain how to work even when you're tired so you can make the most of the energy you do have and help you boost your energy to work consistently. So click the video to learn more.